Good morning, students. Today our topic of discussion is entrepreneurial development. In this topic we will discuss the following topics. We will discuss introduction about entrepreneurship, product selection, site selection, plant layout, profile and requirement of an entrepreneur, financial assistance programs, planned and coordinated effort, follow-up and institutional support, demand and market survey. So these are the major areas we will discuss in this entrepreneurial development. Let us define who is the entrepreneur. This entrepreneurship is an important area for a technocrats, those who completed technical degrees or diplomas. After their completion, those who search and opted the avenue of self-help, avenue of doing a business, avenue of starting an enterprise is called technocrat, or any person who opts for starting of their own jobs, starting of their own enterprises generally will be called entrepreneur. Let us define who is an entrepreneur. A person who organizes, operates and assumes the risk for business ventures. Who is organizing, operating and assuming. So he is organizing, operating and assuming the risk for business ventures. The person is called entrepreneur. That means who is ready to take the risks, who is ready to accept the risk, who is ready to assume the risks for running of the business ventures. The person is called entrepreneur. Let us see what is entrepreneurship. It is a process of creating or seizing an opportunity and pursuing it regardless of the resources currently controlled. You see, this is a process. Entrepreneurship is a process of creating or seizing. It is creating or seizing an opportunity and pursuing it. That means whenever an opportunity comes or whenever you have that this opportunity will give an advantage in the form of business or in the form of small industry. So you should seize the opportunity, you should create and seize the opportunity, whatever the resources under you have within your control. It is not that you have the resources in your control. So without even you have the resources, when you felt this idea, this opportunity is going to succeed to start a business enterprise, you can start a process of establishing a business is called entrepreneurship. It is a process of, let us see again the definition, is a process of creating or seizing an opportunity. That means opportunity does not knock every time. Whenever you felt an opportunity comes to you, you should seize this opportunity and pursuing it regardless the resources currently controlled. Even you have the resources, does not have the resources, that does not matter. You seize the opportunity to start an enterprise. The process of seizing an opportunity to succeed in the business enterprise is called entrepreneurship. Let us go ahead. You can define further. Entrepreneurship is generally characterized by some type of innovation, significant investment and a strategy that values expansion. The entrepreneur is often quite different in mindset from a manager. When you see the difference between a manager and an entrepreneur, normally a manager in an industry, what he will do, what are the resources available to a manager, he want to utilize those resources optimally, he want to get economical worthiness out of those resources. When a promoter offers all the resources to a manager, whereas an entrepreneur, he is not the man that the resources are within the hand, he is a man, he is seizing an opportunity, he is developing an enterprise, he is developing an establishment. So he develops and optimize the resources. He is a man of creator of the resources, he is a man of mobilization of the resources, he is a man of organizing the resources, he is a man of maintaining the resources and he is a man of optimizing those resources. Whereas a manager is simply optimizing the resources. So entrepreneur is having both the managerial skills as well as other skills which required to start an enterprise. Let us we will see a concept of entrepreneurship further. What is a concept of entrepreneurship? Entrepreneurship is a purposeful activity of initiating, promoting and maintaining economic activities for the production and distribution of wealth. So, it is an initiating, promoting and maintaining economic activities. So, you should start initiate, promote it and maintain it. So, it is not that you just maintain it, it is not that just utilize it. You should initiate as well as promote and maintain the economic activities for the production and distribution of the wealth. That means there is a wealth is there in the resources, there is a wealth is there in the nature, there is a value is there in the nature. These values should be converted into the useful form to the people. Who is the person who is converting the valuable resources which are available in the earth into a useful form of products to the people? The man, that person is called entrepreneur. He strives hard to convert this economical value, to convert this value of the resources into a useful form of the products to the people. So, you can see the definition and concept of entrepreneurship is initiating, promoting and maintaining economic activities for the production, we are producing the goods and distributing of wealth. And let us see further. An entrepreneur is a key person in the economic development and is an integral part of the socio-economic transformation. In developing countries, the growing percentage of unemployment is causing alarm and is leading to a great amount of frustration among the youth. If the proper outlet is not available for the latest energies of youth, a disastrous situation may result. That means, a person come out of institution, a person come out of university, a person come out of any educational organization, what he will, suppose he thought of getting a job, he thought of seeking help from others, then who is the person who is going to provide the help, who is the person who is going to provide the job? So, if all the people want to get the job from others, then who is the person to provide the job to people? So, is the government is sufficient, is the government establishment is sufficient to provide jobs to all the people? No, in such cases, there should be some sort of opportunity should be there for the youth, for the talented youth. That opportunity, that is the culture of entrepreneurship, the government or the educational system should inculcate among the youth and among the talented people. They should go for starting an entrepreneurial organizations. It is not that they should get a help from others, they should in a position to give help to others. A person, an educated person, if he thought of getting help from others and a person not educated, he thought of getting help from others is different. That means, a person who is really educated, he should in a position to provide help to others. That means, is a concept of entrepreneurship. That means, it is not that you should seek the help from others. You should be in a position to get help on your own as well as to provide help to others. That is the concept of entrepreneurship. Let us go further. Entrepreneurship should therefore be taken up to build up courageous and self-reliant qualities of youth and other talented personnel to promote successful business units or industries. What are the personal characteristics required for an entrepreneur? In order to succeed in entrepreneurship, what are the characteristics he requires? The characteristics, let us see: the leadership, decisiveness, competitiveness, willpower, self-discipline, comfort with the planning process, work with others. These are the important characteristics to succeed in an entrepreneurship, and a person who really required the following characteristics. Those characteristics are leadership, decisiveness, competitiveness, willpower, self-discipline, comfort with the planning process, work with others. Now, reasons for people going to the business is, I said you that the talented people are educated youth. When coming out of institution, they should go for starting a businesses, starting of industrial enterprises, starting of choosing a option of entrepreneurship. So, what are the reason why to choose entrepreneurship? What are the reason the people going for doing a business? Let us see the reason for people going for a business. Because they want to get freedom from the work routine what they are having presently. They want to become a boss of their own, and they want to do what when they want, and they want to relieve out of boredom with the current job. and financial opportunity they want to encash, and perceived opportunity, whatever the opportunity is coming in across of their mind, across of existing market, they want to perceive it, they want to utilize it, they want to seize opportunity. This is the reasons why the people want to go for a entrepreneurship stage, entrepreneurship process. That means why you have to go for an entrepreneurship, why, how, what is the reason to become an entrepreneur. That means, so you can become a proud of, a symbol of proud to the others, that you have been giving a jobs to the others, that is, and you are getting help on your own, as well as you are creating opportunities to do a work for others, and you can cut out of boredoms of your present work, and you can, whatever want to do, you can do whenever. That is, these are the reasons why the people want to go for an entrepreneurship. Let us see how marketable is your portfolio of skills. I am an entrepreneur. That means you may feel that, suppose I want to choose entrepreneurship track. That means, let us see, I want to become an entrepreneur. That means, is your portfolio of skills, that means whatever the skills you are having, is marketable or not. That means, is your skills are competent to start an entrepreneurship, start an entrepreneur, becoming an entrepreneur, start an enterprise. That means, can you become an entrepreneur? You should, I am an entrepreneur. That means, if the question come across you, let us see what is the thing you have to see. That means, to say that your portfolio of skills are going to be marketed. See what are the things you should see. The best approach to preparing for an entrepreneurial career is often to find some aspect of your field in which you can become an expert. That means, the field in which you are becoming an expert, you should choose. In such case, you can choose the process of entrepreneurship. That means, you should find that you are being an expert in your field. That means, what kind of skills in your portfolio are going to be marketed. That means, what kind of knowledge you should possess to become an entrepreneur. That means, the knowledge, what is you require is that you must be an expert in your field. That means, you should ensure that I am an expert in my field. That means, it gives and it provides a confidence that I can go ahead in the field. That means, I am an entrepreneur is an answer for your question, that if you want to become an entrepreneur, that you should ensure that you have expertise in your field or not. That means, the spark of many entrepreneurs is seeing an opportunity that does not exist. If you felt that you are having an expertise in your field, then what you have to do? That means, I had a confidence that I am expert in my field. I can do some business, I can do some enterprise, I can start my own industry, I can convert my talents, knowledge into a useful form of products. I want to become a boss of my own. If you felt you have such kind of skills, then what you have to do? That means, the spark of an entrepreneur, that means the starting of an entrepreneur, that means you should see an opportunity. You felt that you have the sufficient skills, you felt that your skills or your portfolio of skills are marketable, that you felt that you have the qualities of characteristics of an entrepreneur, then what you have to do? You should see for an opportunity, to grab the opportunity and to get economical gain out of the opportunity. That means, you have to search for seeing an opportunity. Now let us see. We will see a successful example. The Ted Turner is a person who started the CNN television. So he perceived, you have just see here, just it's in a bold way, here mentioned, he perceived that people wanted more television news than what presently. That means, before starting of CNN news, this person, the Ted Turner, what he realized, that people want more television news than what presently the live television is going to telecast. That means, this news, television news is not sufficient. People want the latest updated news. That means, he perceived the opportunity. That means, he felt that he is in the field of television, he is in the field of telecasting, he is in the field of, he felt that he had the knowledge of, he can work with telecasting media. In such case, he started and thinking of getting an opportunity, that he perceived that the people want more news than what existing the television or channels are telecasting. In such case, what he had done? Now see the second point. The Turner demonstrated great persistence That means he got the opportunity, he perceived the opportunity, then what he had done, he persistence to realize the CNN. Taking a raw idea and converting it into a successful business model is needed very hard work. No matter how innovative your idea, the competition is always just behind you. It requires constant creative effort to overcome the competition. That means how he became a successful entrepreneur. You see the points here I have mentioned. He perceived the opportunity and persistence to realize the CNN, and had done very hard work, and his idea is innovative, and he put constant creative effort to overcome the competition. Even your idea is innovative, you have the good knowledge, you have find an opportunity, you got an idea, you can thought and realize that this opportunity or idea is going to be converted into a reality, is going to be converted into a great establishment, is going to be converted into a successful venture. In such case, it's not sufficient. That means you have to continue your hard work. You should put a constant hard work. You should put a continuous, consistent work in order to realize your idea, in order to realize it may be your dream that you can become a mega entrepreneur, you can become a familiar person in the world or in our society or in our country. So definitely a greater satisfaction you can achieve when you really realizes a venture. It's not that when you are working in an enterprise, if you are succeeded in your enterprise, if you are succeeded in your job, it's not that you are going to be satisfied. So a real satisfaction you can achieve when you started an enterprise, when you succeeded in an enterprise and your firm got a fame across the world. That means this will give a great pleasure that none others, definitely I can say that, ensure that will give such a pleasure that if you are a successful entrepreneur, if you are a model of successful entrepreneur, in such case definitely that your portfolio of skills are marketed and definitely you are an entrepreneur. That means it just having a title of entrepreneur is not sufficient. That means you should have some of the characteristics, you should have some of the profile of entrepreneur. The profile what you require is that, let us see, when you have an idea, represent a real opportunity, one must be able to, that means you have the idea and you felt that it's a real opportunity, what you have to do? So what you have discussed, you are just summarizing into points. That is, you research the market, know what data is important in the market, how to gather it meaningfully, work with rather detailed plan, refine into blueprint for success. That means these are the 5 steps I have listed here. That means you have idea in your mind, you have an idea in your mind that how the idea can be converted into an opportunity. That means the stages I have mentioned here, the 5 stages. So you do the market research, collect the data from the market and convert into useful form in the form of 5 steps. That how to gather it meaningfully, work with the rather detailed plan, refine into blueprint for success. Now let us see the profile and requirements of an entrepreneur. What are the requirements you need for becoming a successful entrepreneur? That means you are not simply that I have possessed the idea, I had done the market research, I got the data, I can do something more for starting of enterprise. It's not sufficient. You should have some requirements becoming an entrepreneur. What are the requirements? What should be your profile? What type of things you require becoming a successful entrepreneur? Let us go through the points. You should have an accurate thinking. That means when you are analyzed, when you got a solution, when you got a formula, when you have a thought, you should be more accurate. You should give, your results must be accurate, your analysis must be accurate, your foresightedness must be accurate. Go through these points, you see what are the requirements of an entrepreneur. You must be accurate, you have the time sense and foresight, and you should have alertness, honesty, ability to cooperate, consistency and dependability, and you have greater energy to stick on to your idea. That means it's not that having idea, you should stick on to that idea. You should say that I have sticked and I maintain the idea and I have such energy that I can realize my dream. That means everyone have their own dreams, but you have the sufficient energy, willpower, you can realize your dreams. That everyone want to become a great person, everyone want to become a industrialist, everyone want to become a fame, everyone want to get their own assets. That means everyone want to go by cars, everyone want to have a big buildings, they want to have a personal status, personal charisma. But when you can get all these things, this is the idea. You should see that when you have these requirements, that means you have an accurate thinking, time sense, foresightedness, alertness, honesty, and ability to cooperate, consistency and dependability, energy and willpower, and personal characteristics, communication skills, all these things definitely will fetch you to become an entrepreneur. Let us go ahead. So, if you have an opportunity and you did the research in the market, collected the right data, have an operational plan, and you felt that I have a sufficient energy, willpower, I can maintain, that means I have the requirements to become an entrepreneur, then what you have to do? So, we have done only preliminary, that means can I become an entrepreneur, or what is the process of entrepreneurship? So, what is the significance of entrepreneurship? So, what is an advantage with entrepreneur avenue option for a talented people? Then what is the next stage of entrepreneur? The first stage of entrepreneur, that means you are entering into the process of entrepreneurship. That means you want to start an enterprise, you want to become an industrialist. In such case, what is the first stage is product selection. What kind of product I should choose? What kind of business activity I should start? What form? What method? Let us see. The selection of potentially profitable product or line of business activity is the first step towards a successful venture. That means you should choose such a product. It's not that once you have chosen a product, then again changing the product sequence, again changing the product shape, product nature. Definitely it does not going to succeed. You should choose such a product, such a line of business activity, such a mode of channel of distribution, such a place of production, such a method of distribution. All these things will fetch you to become a successful entrepreneur. Market and demand survey will help to great extent of study of various alternatives and select appropriate product, and the following factors to be considered before selecting a product. That means it's not that market research. What is market research? Let us have a little broader way. What is you have to do in a market research? Simply just putting a heading that market research. What is market research? Market research includes market survey, demand survey. What kind of the products people are required, what quantity they required, what is the size of the domestic sector, what is the quantity of the products the people are consuming, what is the change in what is extra products the next year people require. That means when the population is growing and growing, automatically people require more products. So, what is the scope of expansion of the quantities required? So, how many quantities, the scope of expansion of the market. So, what extent the market is going to expand, how many product I can push into the market, what are the existing competitors, what extra value I can add to the product, how can I convince the customer, then the product supplies. So, these are all demographic study, the place, geographical study, people's sentiments, thoughts, all these things you should take care while selecting a product. And you see the following factors to be considered before selecting a product. Various types of products recommended by Small Industry Service Institute. It helps in getting financial assistance from the government. So, suppose you should not think that I am going to start such a venture, it's just going in a smoother way and definitely I can become a mega entrepreneur or I can become a successful example within a short course of time. It's not like that. That means when you go through a successful stories of an entrepreneur, they just started with a scratch, they just started their enterprises in their own houses, they started with a small shed, they started with a very teeny industry. It's not that when you thought of an industry, when you thought of establishing an enterprise, it's not that you should realize and you should feel that there should be big sheds and there should be a smoke tube and more workers are coming and going and more missions. It's not like that. You can become such a big entrepreneur, you can start such a big enterprise when you succeed being as a small entrepreneur. That means you should have a reality, that means you should see that I I can do something, I can succeed, my idea can be succeeded, my opportunities I can encash. That means you should start a small entrepreneurship, you should start a small enterprise, which is what kind of product? Let us see, the product which are recommended normally by small industries service institution. There is a government agency there, they are recommending some products. So if you choose such a product, this is a safer way that you can become a successful entrepreneur. That means you can get financial assistance, you can get incentives from the government, as this product has been listed by the SISI, that means Small Industry Service Institute. Then you have to see, if you select such a product, you have to see the existing demand for a product, future demand, competitors and the quality of their products and price, and consumers' capacity and their living standards and habits, and marketing assistance and guidance provided by small scale industry department, incentives offered by the state government, what are the incentive schemes and government assistance programs extended for the finance. That means if you start a small enterprise, you just see what are the products are listed as a small scale industries for the small scale industry sector, what are the government incentives are giving, which place the government is promoting the industrial expansion. You have to see all these factors to have an early stage success. That means at the early stage you don't think that you are going to be becoming a big entrepreneur, you are going to get a big success. It's not that everyone will get a big success. Suppose you get a big success at instant, it's not the success. You should have a continuous, constant hard work, consistent effort, which is going to be stand for a longer time and which is going to be give a great advantage for you. So once you have selected the product, the next stage is plant location or site selection. That means what is site selection? It is deciding suitable location, area, place where the plant or factory will start functioning. That means you have to select location, area, place where I want to start my plant. So this plant location involves two major activities. The first activity is selecting a proper geographic region, and second is selecting a specific site within the region. So first you should choose the geographic region, and the second the site within the region. So definitely no location is ideal or perfect. One has to strike a balance between various factors which are affecting a plant location. Now go through what are the points to consider while selecting a site for a plant. So these are the points you have to consider. That means I cannot say that this is going to be an ideal site, this is going to be satisfying all the points. So you should have to strike a balance among all these points. That means there are several factors which are influencing the product selection, like that, which are influencing the site selection. You have to see all these points which are influencing site selection, and you should get some compromise out of it, and you get strike a balance out of these points. Now go through what are the points which are considered while selecting a site for a plant. It must be near to the raw material, transport facilities, nearness to markets, availability of labor, availability of fuel and power, availability of water, climate conditions, financial and other incentives offered, land topography, drainage facilities for waste disposal, community attitude, presence of related industries, existence of hospitals, local buyers, security, facilities for expansion. I have given a big list. This you can see. So it should be, market must be nearer, raw material must be available, people must be available, transportation must be there, community facility must be there, skilled labor must be there. So they can help you to get success of your industry. So these are the points you should strike a balance among all these points. You cannot, I can say that this site definitely will give all such advantages what I have given the list. So what of these points? You should get some compromisation of some points, and you should select which is going to be given advantage for you. Now when you are selecting a location, generally you should come across with three types of locations. It may be nearer to the city or within the city, or it in the town or rural area or suburban area, like that. In such cases, if you select a city site, what are the advantages you can get out of the city site? The city site will provide you good transportation, good market, right labor force, power and water easily availability, more community facilities, existence of related and supporting industries, and you get a more security. Normally city site will give all such advantages. You have the transportation, communication, community facilities, availability of labor, all such things. But major disadvantage with city sites is that land is very cost and less chance for expansion, and local taxes are more labor rate, and the problem with the trade unions. Now, when you go through the rural sites, so what are the advantages you can possess with the rural sites? It is more land availability, you have more land in your hand, you can have an expansion, less cost of labor, more government support in terms of incentives, and normally government will support to start industries in the rural area for providing an employment opportunity, for generating a work concept among the rural people. Unskilled labor is available in the rural area, you can train them according to your requirement, and there is a possibility is there for expansion. And what is the disadvantage with the rural sites? Non-availability of skilled labor, less connectivity to rail, road and air linkage, less community facilities, no supporting and ancillary industries. So, there is an advantage is there with city sites and rural sites as well as disadvantages. You should strike a balance. Normally what government is doing, they are developing industrial sheds, industrial estates which are just nearer to the cities or at the outskirts of the cities. So, it can provide a compromising, it can provide an advantage of both the city and rural sites. So, government promoting industrial estates at the outskirts of the cities and developing all facilities in such estates. These are not exactly in cities or in rural areas. It can be termed as you can call it as suburban sites. It possesses the advantages of both the city and rural sites. Now, you go through the plant layout. What is plant layout? That means you are now in a position to find that you have the sufficient skills to become an entrepreneur. Now, you selected the product. Now, you have selected where you want to start the enterprise. The next stage, that means you are now ready with your plant site, you have the idea of what product to do or what line of business activity you can do, and you felt that my portfolio skills are marketable and I can become an entrepreneur. Then the next stage, that how your plant facilities to be grouped in the available site, that is called plant layout. Let us have a good definition, clear definition about the plant layout. It can be defined as the arrangement of different missions and plant services within the factory so that the greatest possible output of highest quality at a minimum cost and minimum transportation is attained. So, it is arrangement of your machinery, plant services within your plant site. So, you have the machinery and other plant services. What is other plant services? It may be metal handling equipment, it may be a store room, it may be a canteen, it may be a stock room, it may be other rooms. So, arranging of machinery and plant services within the factory site, you have to ensure so that the greatest possible output of high quality. So, you have to get a highest quantity, highest quality at minimum cost with minimum inter-transportation. That means, you should arrange the machinery and plant services such a way in your plant, in your available site to produce highest quantity as well as highest quality with the minimum cost with the minimum inter-transportation. So, such a layout is called a better layout, a good layout. So, arranging of such way your plant facilities is called plant layout. Now, let us see objectives of a good plant layout. You should have less cost of metal handling and transportation, maximum utilization of space, minimization of accidents. You should not accident prone, the plant should not be accident prone, minimize production delays and more production control, space for future expansion, no bottlenecks and points of congestion, minimize the backtracking, low production cost, high quality and quantity of production, simpler plant maintenance. So, plant maintenance must be easy, there should be scope for future expansion, high quality of production, high quantity of production, no accident and integrity among the resources. All these are the important points to see that your plant layout is a good. Next, the principles of plant layout. There are few trends and scientific methods and models are available for designing a good plant layouts. So, there is some strategy and heuristics are available how to design a plant, how to look at the plant facilities. So, these heuristics basically work on some principles. What are the principles on which the plant layout can be done? Let us see the basic principles of plant layout. Principles of overall integration, principles of flow for better line balancing. You see better line balancing here, some of the flow lines I have given, that is I flow, L flow, S flow, U flow, O flow. So, the raw material is entering here, finished product is coming here. So, principles of flow for better line balancing, and principle of cubic space, principle of safety and satisfaction, principle of flexibility, principle of minimum investment. So, these 7 principles based on which normally any plant layout is designed. So, these principles you can be formulated into a model, you can formulate it into a strategy, heuristics based on which you can design the plant layouts. So, now you see what are the types of layouts: the product layout, process layout, fixed position layout, combination layout. So, what is a product layout or line layout? In process type industries or in case of mass production, the production facilities may be located according to the sequence of the operations of the product which they process. That means, when you are producing a mass production, when you are producing a product which is repetitive in nature, that means your product is a process type of industry. That means, let us see some example. What is process type of industry? That means, my industry is a sugar cane, that is sugar production. That means, what you will do in the sugar production? Normally, the sequence of operation, the process is unique and similar forever. Textile, paper manufacturing, and best example, let us see a thermopower plant. What are the sequence of operations in a thermopower plant? It is always constant, it is always fixed. That means, you have the fixed sequence of operation, that means, you have the fixed and repetitive line of production, repetitive way of doing the activities. In such case, what type of layout is suggested? Suppose your business is or your industry having a repetitive nature of production, repetitive nature of business activity, repetitive nature of line of actions. In such case, what type of layout you should use? The product or line layout is best suggestible in such case. Now, let us see such layout is known as product layout or line layout. The direction of metal flow is well defined. That means, in a thermopower plant, let us see what is the direction of flow. The direction of flow is constant in the thermopower plant. That means, we will burn the coal and the heat, the flue gases will be sent into the boiler and water is sent into the boiler. The steam, the high temperature steam is going to the turbine and expansion is taken place and alternator is going to produce the power and there is a condenser to recycle the things. So, this is a sequence of the same sequence. That means, you have the fixed sequence. You see, the direction of metal flow is well defined. That means, forever the direction of metal flow is not going to change. Suppose when you are producing paper, is the sequence of your paper production is going to change? No. So, there should be a fixed sequence. In such cases, you should follow the product or line layout. Now, let us see here, this is departments 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these are all missions, and this is a sequence of path for material X, Y, Z. So, this is the best for product or line layout. This diagram will show, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, these are the fixed location of this machinery and the material path is also fixed. The X path of raw material flow, Y path of raw material flow, Z path of raw material flow, and finally to go to inspection and assembly department. And another product or line layout, you have some sequence A, B, C, and material flow in a product layout. You see, this is the workstations, these are all workstations, and this is a feeder line for the material, and this is the production line. So, any other type of layout, process or function layout. In a process layout, the production centers are organized according to the function they perform. What function they are performing, what speciality of that machinery, according to that, these things are going to be grouped. Let us say in case of machine shop, all the lathe machines, milling machines, drilling machines, other machines are grouped together and assign distinct work areas on the floor of the plant. Suppose in case of hospitals, so what is there in hospitals? X-ray room is there, blood bank is there, and OP is there, inpatient department is there. But a person is coming for getting a diagnosis, all person may not be going to X-ray room, all person may not be going to blood test department, all person may not be going to other department. There are several functional departments are there. Depending when the patient is coming there, he will visit some of the department and go out of the hospital. It is not that all should go around all the facilities which are there in the hospital. In such a way, when the material is coming with the industry, it is not that you should have to have a same fixed sequence, all material is coming should go in the same queue and should go in the same way. Some material will go in some other queue, some material will go in some other queue. In such cases, what type of layout you should use? Process or functional layout. This layout, you should see when material is going, you should have a zigzag sequence of metal flow. When you have such stores, inspection room, milling session, lathe section, grinding section, drilling section, press shop and stock room, this material is having a different sequence of metal flow. You see, when you three materials are going, three are going in a different sequence among the plant facilities. And metal flow, you see, when you have different kinds of materials are there in the process layout, the specialized equipment are grouped one places and material sequence is going in different ways. So when should be product or process layout to be used? Product layout, you have the one or few standard product and producing large volume, minimum inspection, no backtracking. When you have to use process layout, many types of kinds of products and relate to low volume, more inspection, backtracking is possible. And what are the characteristics of product and process layout? You can mechanize the material process in product layout because you have a fixed sequence of operations and you can avoid the bottlenecks and economy in manufacturing time, minimize the working process, better production control, early detection of bad workmanship is possible in product layout, but it is not possible in process layout because it is meant for some other purpose. What are the advantages with process layout? You see, you can get a flexibility in production, scope for expansion, handling of breakdown is easy, better utilization of workers and specialization in supervision is possible with process layout. What is fixed position layout? Here all the plant facilities, the tools, machinery, men are going to develop a product. Let us see example is shipbuilding, huge aircraft building, locomotive boilers. In such cases, what is going to happen? All the things will go to one place and there the product is going to be realized. Suppose you are constructing a building, what you will do? The construction of building requires all material should go, men should go, machine should go, all these things will go to one place and produce a building and develop a building. It is called one example for fixed position layout. Let us say a diesel locomotive, another example, diesel locomotive assembling area. If the product is there, labor, material, equipment will go there and the product is going to be realized. So when you see combined layout, so it is a combination of two types, either process and fixed, process and product, and combination of any such things. Suppose in a soap manufacturing unit, the machinery manufacturing the soap is arranged on the product line, but ancillary services such as heating, manufacturing of glycerin, powerhouse, water treatment, all are arranged on a functional basis. That means the basic sequence is product and ancillary services are on a functional basis. You can say it is a combination layout. This layout is process layout and this layout is product layout. It have the advantages of both the product and process layout. Now let us see a process of entrepreneurial development. That means now you selected the product, layout is ready, everything is there. In such cases, what is the process of entrepreneurial development? There are three stages in which you can see the development strategy of entrepreneurship: stimulatory, supporting, sustaining. Stimulate, that is initiate, support, sustaining. You see, what is stimulation? That is stimulation, that is the first stage. That means developing a concept of entrepreneurship, identification of viable industrial activity, motivating, imparting managerial skills, guiding in preparation of technical feasibility report. That is stimulation. That means to stimulate a person to become an entrepreneur. Next, support. What to support? To sustain the simulation. Activities for establishing and running of enterprise, registration of units, providing financial assistance, providing land, shed and water, power, etc. Guidance in procurement of plant and machinery is a supporting services. And supporting services, further you can see helping in designing a good layout, helping in procuring raw material, assistance to get all licenses, offering management consultancy and marketing assistance. So stimulation, support. So you have you are stimulated the person and you are supported the person. Sustain this. You should ensure continued efficient profitable functioning of unit, moderation of unit, expansion and diversification of product substitution, additional finance, root and cause analysis for any failure in the system, and creating new markets, product exhibitions, seminars, technology transfer and promoting collaboration, promotional incentives for technical substitutes and import and export licenses. So in the entrepreneurial process of development, there are three stages I have mentioned. One is stimulation, supporting, sustain. So there should be some agencies should work to support in three stages. Stimulation, that means some of the departments are encouraging entrepreneurial awareness and some of the departments are supporting the entrepreneurs, some of the departments are helping to sustain the entrepreneurial development. Now you see the need for a planned and coordinated effort. There should be a comprehensive plan and coordinated effort is required for the success of an entrepreneurial development with an integrated approach by the promotional agencies. What are the promotional agencies are there? We will discuss. So those are normally DSE will be a focal point or nodal point which is helping in these all three stages: stimulation, supporting, sustaining. So local agencies such as DSE to support the entrepreneur till break-even stage. Interdisciplinary approach, they are helping in all the areas. Updated information support such as process improvement, technology and market survey. And training and monitoring and evaluating the entrepreneurial development, realizing the realistic institutional financing. So the follow-up and institutional support in entrepreneurial development. So there are some institutions that are supporting in the process of entrepreneurial development. What are these? Let us categorize them into advisory bodies, government institution, corporate institution. You see what are the advisory bodies? Development Commission of Small Scale of Industries, State Small Industries Board, Commissionerate of Industries, Export Promotion Council, Small Scale Industries Association. Government institutions what are helping this entrepreneurial process of development? Commodity boards, NSIC National Small Industries Corporation, Small Industries Service Institution, Small Industries Development Organization, National Institute of Small Industry and Extension Training, SSIDC, Small Scale Industries Development Corporation. These are all government institutions helping them for the entrepreneurial development. What are the corporate institutions are helping for entrepreneurial development? STC, State Trading Corporation, State Finance Corporation, Indian Standards Institution, that is Bureau of Indian Standards, CITD, Central Institute of Tool Design, Industrial Technical Consultancy, ITCOS, National Productivity Council, banks, IDBA, Industrial Development Bank of India, Small Industries Development Bank of India, SIDBI. Let us have a last points in the entrepreneurial development is what way to do the demand survey. You have to see the size and composition of the present demand and what are the market segment and demand projection for the next 10 years and market penetration, board pricing structure, sales promotion strategy you should see in the demand survey, and in market survey you should select the product, identification of field origin, selection of specific market segment, determination of size and design of random sample, recruitment of talented people, organization of field work, scrutiny and analysis of data. These are all will be done normally with the qualified and technical people. So here in the entrepreneurial development, what you have seen? So you have seen what is an entrepreneur, what is the process of entrepreneurship, what's an advantage with entrepreneurship option. That means a talented qualified person coming out of institution, an energetic person, those who possess all the characteristics and profile requirements of an entrepreneur. So they can choose, entrepreneurship is the best option. They can choose, they can help themselves, they can become boss of their own and they can provide advantage and help to the nation, they can provide help to the others in form of generating an employment, generating an foreign exchange, in form of developing a successful enterprises. When you see in India, in our case of our country, nearly 33% of exports are coming through small scale industries and 40% of value and production is coming through small scale industries. You can see it's a successful example is there in India also. So all the people can choose the option of entrepreneurship as their career in their life. Thank you for giving this opportunity.